Everyone loves a good training montage. I'm not even an athlete, but I get so inspired when I see people get back up again over and over and discover strength they didn't know they had. Physical training can bring a huge transformation, but training ourselves to rely on God brings something even greater. 1 Timothy 4 verse 7 to 8 says, "Train yourself to be godly, for physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come." Fully relying on God is inspiring and fills us with courage, inner strength, and endurance. It gives us the power to do things we would never be able to do on our own. But have you ever wondered how to actually do it? I go to church regularly, read the Bible each day, and pray, but I still struggle to trust that God, prayer, and the Bible are more powerful than my ability to figure things out and get things done. In this video, we'll give you 2 spiritual training exercises you can do each day to learn to trust God more than yourself. And don't worry, there are no push-ups involved. Spiritual workout number 1, strengthen your stance against self-reliance. To fully rely on God, we have to admit that relying on ourselves actually doesn't work. In Jeremiah 17, verse 5 to 6, it says, "Cursed is the one who trusts in human strength and the abilities of mere mortals. His very heart strays from the eternal. He is like a little shrub in the desert that never grows. He will see no good thing come his way. He will live in a desert wasteland, a barren land of salt where no one lives." There are negative side effects of self-reliance. We can become unfaithful. Our heart strays from God and others because we're always trying to figure things out on our own. Or we can be unbelieving. We don't see good things happening even when they do. Self-reliance also makes us uninspired. We look at our lives like they're a desert wasteland. We feel alone and unattached. And all of this results in being unmoved. We feel stuck and we wither. One of the most important ways I can train myself to be godly is to tell myself the truth about my self-reliance. I actually think it's safer to rely on myself than to rely on God. Even when I try to do spiritual things like read the Bible, sometimes all I can think about is who I need to text, what work I need to finish, and what people think of me. I think that over-planning, overthinking, and over-preparing will relieve my anxiety, but it doesn't. I just find something else to be afraid of. I end up seeing the world through a negativity filter of what could possibly go wrong instead of what God could do. I get small-minded, and my biggest goal is just to complete my to-do list for the day, rather than changing lives around me for the better, which is something God is capable of helping me do. As Tony Robbins said, change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. We choose to be self-reliant because we believe it'll work for us. Training ourselves to rely on God starts with shining a light on the negative side effects of self-reliance so we see the pain it causes and it loses its grip on us. How have you believed self-reliance has been working for you? What kind of impact do you want to have in your life? We cannot live a fruitful life, a life filled with lasting impact, without learning to be attached to God and becoming God-reliant.
Stop it. Get some help.
Spiritual workout number 2. Practice shifting your attention from yourself to God. Let's finish that passage we started in Jeremiah 17. In verses 7 and 8, it reads, "But blessed is the one who trusts in me alone. The eternal will be his confidence. He is like a tree planted by water, sending out its roots beside the stream. It does not fear the heat or even drought. Its leaves stay green and its fruit is dependable, no matter what it faces." If we are going to become God-reliant people, we need to be ready to keep shifting our focus back to God throughout the day. We can do that through simple and honest prayers where we admit we need his help and that there are just some things we can't do ourselves. Matthew 6:6 in the Message translation tells us that we can shift our focus from ourselves to God just by praying as simply and honestly as we can manage. As the day goes on, our focus may shift back to ourselves, and as soon as we notice that, we can make a choice to shift it back by simply and honestly telling God what we need. Prayer is a safe place to talk about anything: our fears, desires, dreams, frustrations, sins, insecurities, and everything. So keep it simple. Tell God everything.
Tell me everything!
Relying on God is the process of telling ourselves that we don't have all the answers and committing ourselves to prayer instead of trying to figure things out on our own. It requires trusting that God not only cares, but is real and able to make a tangible difference in our lives. How do you need God's help to live a life with impact? What would it look like for you to pray simply and honestly throughout your day? Please like this video and consider subscribing. And for more video devotionals, check out our YouTube channel or visit deepspirituality.com. If you want to check out more scriptures on relying on God, you can read the full article linked in the description below.